20th of August 2023. This newsflash, I want to talk about something that Cyril said. A friend of mine sent me this clip. Cyril Ramaphosa concedes that Indian, colored and white citizens have been ignored after 1994. And it was reported by News 24. I went to the article and this is the headline. Cyril Ramaphosa concedes that Indian, colored and white citizens have been ignored after 1994. President Cyril Ramaphosa admitted that the ANC was also to blame for dividing the country. Ramaphosa was speaking at the 40th anniversary celebrations of the non-racial anti-apartheid organization, the United Democratic Front. Former Finance Minister Trevor Manuel also attended the event and called for the defense of the country's constitution. President Cyril Ramaphosa, speaking at the UDF 40th anniversary event, conceded that Indian, colored and white citizens feel excluded in South Africa's political life, saying the ANC was also to blame. Ramaphosa addressed the UDF's anniversary celebrations, where the event's theme was about reigniting non-racialism and active citizenship to reclaim the supremacy of the country's constitutional democracy, which speakers at the event warned was in peril. Ramaphosa, enthusing at how the slogan UDF Unites, Apartheid Divides was used in the 80s to bury the repressive regime, called poverty and unemployment the enemies of the people that needed defeating through non-racialism in finding solutions that our people can live a better life. He rallied against his party, the ANC, for being part of dividing South Africa along ethnic, racial and gender lines. Now, that is a major thing for him to say that. And I wonder what the hell happened. Why does he make statements like this now? But I've made my position clear many times. And I have spoken about it, that this racism thing is going to become a serious problem for the ANC in BRICS. And Ramaphosa was in Moscow recently. I wonder if there was not things whispered in his ear about this, because this racism thing and the genocide thing from Malema, and that is a PR problem for BRICS. But let's see where this goes. We should not use this opportunity of the UDF's relaunch just to dissect what the problems are. We should use this opportunity to recall the activism that we were taught by the UDF. He added, many in our country, including some who are gathered here today, are disappointed that the non-racialism unity embodied by the UDF has been lost. Too many, it has been supplanted by ethnic chauvinism and factionalism, even in the liberation movement, the ANC. The UDF was formed in August '83 in response to banned political formations and the apartheid government's constitutional amendment plans to create lower houses consisting of only Indian and colored citizens in the then parliament, further excluding black Africans and dividing the marginalized areas. The UDF relaunched recently to influence the country's socio-political direction. In his address, former Northwest Premier Popo Molefe, an erstwhile UDF leader who is part of its current steering committee, echoed Ramaphosa's sentiments, asserting that political parties were mobilizing citizens along racial lines. What the fuck is that? Do they only realize that now? Daily we are witnesses to concerted efforts by anti-democratic forces to reverse the advances towards nation building that we had begun making. Political parties of all stripes are not helping to consolidate our democracy, accountability and provision of sustainable basic services. Instead, they spend valuable time shouting at one another, neglecting their constitutional obligations, Molefe said. Former Finance Minister Trevor Manuel, a former UDF leader, said the country should celebrate and protect the Bill of Rights enshrined in the Constitution, regardless of which party won elections. Now, this seems to me like somebody has decided they had enough of the ANC. The recognition of the UDF is not to establish a new party. It's about understanding who we are as South Africans and the fire that should burn inside all of us, Manuel told News 24. South Africa's former presidents Thabo Mbeki and Kgalema Motlanthe also attended the festivities and were seated alongside anti-apartheid activist Sophie de Bruyn, the only surviving leader of the four women who led the historic 9 August 1956 Women's March against the former regime. Now, I'm not going to speculate a lot about this, but this is a serious change. Now, the big thing is, they've now admitted it. What are they going to do to rectify it? We have a situation that the BRICS bloc is drawing a lot of new members. And many of those new members are not black. There's whites there. And those countries, they cannot participate freely in the economy in South Africa because of BEE and affirmative action. Those companies from those countries run a danger if they send workers or technicians from their country to South Africa, because they might get killed here because they are white. So, all in all, things are beginning to untangle and unravel, actually the right word is unravel, for this racism shit from the ANC and the EFF. And I'm going to say it again, I won't be surprised if the Russians spoke to Cyril about this. Now, I'm not going to be arrogant enough to say that that letter that I sent to Mr. Putin played a role or what. All I know is that that letter was translated and was handed in per hand at the Kremlin. The fact of the matter is, this racism shit of Cyril is undefensible. And it is now reached a point where it is no longer contained and constrained here in South Africa and kept under wraps. The whole BRICS world knows about it. All of them are aware of it and they see it. And many of those countries has been in situations where they had racial problems in their countries and they sorted it out. Ethnic problems in their countries and they sorted it out. And here we sit with Cyril shutting up completely while Malema stokes the fires. And as far as I'm concerned, the chickens are coming home to roost. Please give me a like and a subscribe and share the thing. Thank you for your support.